In the vibrant, sunny Smurf village, where flowers bloomed in every color imaginable and the river sang its melodic tune, a tiny but significant problem had crept in. Papa Smurf noticed that the once fresh and fragrant air was replaced with smoke and noise. The lively chirping of the birds had started to fade, and the Smurfs appeared more rushed than ever, zipping around in their little cars and scooters that ran on gas. Papa Smurf, wise and thoughtful as always, gathered all the Smurfs around the big mushroom eating hall. "My dear Smurfs," he began, "our village has always been a place where nature flourishes. But with the smoke from our vehicles, the fresh air is no longer fresh, and even the birds have started to leave us." The Smurfs looked at each other with concerned eyes. Brainy Smurf adjusted his glasses thoughtfully. "Papa Smurf," he chimed in, "if we don't act soon, it might affect the forest's health." Right on cue, Handy Smurf stepped forward, his tool belt jangling. "We need to come up with clever inventions that don't produce smoke or noise," Handy suggested with his inventive spirit. Papa Smurf nodded, appreciating the ideas bubbling from the crowd. "Let's all think about what we can do to keep our forests safe and happy," he encouraged. The Smurfs brainstormed and shared exciting ideas. Clumsy Smurf proposed using bicycles instead of scooters, adding, "They won't make any noise at all." Smurfette beamed and talked about planting more flowers near the roads to keep them beautiful and fragrant. As the ideas flowed, the Smurfs realized they didn't need to look far for solutions. Using their hands, hearts, and the natural gifts around them, they could create eco-friendly alternatives. With cooperation and creativity, they promised to transform their village into a cleaner, more peaceful place while keeping the spirit of the forest alive. Papa Smurf watched his little Smurfs as they buzzed with excitement, proud of their united effort. "Together, we'll make every corner of Smurf Village sing with nature once again," he declared, wrapping up the meeting. And so, with every Smurf pitching in, the village embarked on a new adventure, one that promised harmony with nature and joyful progress. Once upon a time, in the whimsical village of the Smurfs, Brainy Smurf stood before his fellow Smurfs with a bright idea. His glasses glinting in the sun, he excitedly waved his hands in the air. "What if we ride bicycles, walk more, or use solar-powered carts? We could make our village the greenest it's ever been," he exclaimed. The other Smurfs gathered around, their curiosity piqued. Smurfette smiled at the thought of a cleaner village. Handy Smurf nodded, already considering how to build a solar cart. But not every Smurf was convinced. Lazy Smurf yawned and stretched out on a mushroom, grumbling, "Why walk when you can nap?" Hefty Smurf crossed his arms, his muscles bulging beneath his shirt. "How will we carry heavy things like logs and rocks without our trusty cart?" he asked, a frown crossing his face. Papa Smurf, always the wise mediator, stepped forward with a reassuring nod. "How about we give it a try for 1 week? If it doesn't work, we can always go back. But we owe it to Mother Nature and ourselves to give this a chance." The Smurfs murmured in agreement. Even Lazy Smurf lifted his hat slightly, considering the possibility. The week began, and the Smurfs set into motion. Clumsy Smurf wobbled comically on a bicycle, making every Smurf laugh. Greedy Smurf found a way to balance his basket full of Smurf berries while riding. Even Lazy Smurf, half asleep, managed to walk to the berry patch instead of hitching a ride. The days rolled by, and soon the village was buzzing with new energy, the energy of movement powered by their own feet and the sun. They found creative solutions. Hefty Smurf and his team built a solar-powered trailer that could carry their heaviest loads. The end of the week came, and the Smurf village gathered together over a pot of stew, celebrating with tales of their adventures. "Not only did we help the environment," Brainy grinned, "but we also found fun in new ways." Even Lazy Smurf couldn't help but smile as he poured himself another bowl, secretly proud of his small accomplishment. "Maybe naps are better after a little walk," he mused. And so, the Smurfs learned that change could indeed bring joy, and that even the laziest of Smurfs could enjoy a little green adventure. In the little Smurf village, something exciting was happening. The Smurfs had decided it was time to make their village a cleaner and more peaceful place. Handy Smurf, with his clever mind and brilliant tools, came up with a fantastic idea to build a small solar-powered bus. This bus would buzz around the village, picking up Smurfs who were heading to work or just wanted to enjoy a nice ride. It was as quiet as a whisper, and even lazy Smurf couldn't help but enjoy the smooth ride as he relaxed in one of its comfy seats. Meanwhile, Smurfette had a bright idea of her own. She loved flowers, and she knew the Smurfs did too. So, she spent days planting colorful flowers along the walking paths. Now, whenever a Smurf went for a walk, they could enjoy the sweet scents and vibrant blooms that made every step a delight. Soon, more and more Smurfs were taking to their bikes and strolling together on the paths lined with flowers. There was laughter, chatter, and smiles all around. The village looked more beautiful than ever, threaded with lanes of color. Papa Smurf couldn't have been more proud. Just look at our village. He smiled as he watched the Smurfs riding bikes, walking, and chatting happily. Thanks to Handy's solar bus and Smurfette's flower paths, the Smurf village is now a cleaner and more peaceful home for us all. The Smurfs had discovered the joy of a quieter, more eco-friendly way of living. And as for lazy Smurf, well, let's just say he wasn't so lazy anymore. The simple joys of the village had become everyone's favorite adventure. Once upon a time, in a magical Smurf village, everything seemed perfect except for the dark clouds looming overhead. The smoke was coming from Gargamel's dreadful inventions. It turned their green home into a gray place, and the Smurfs knew they had to do something. Papa Smurf gathered all the Smurfs in the village square. To revive our beautiful village, he declared, we need to embrace a green lifestyle. Let's plant more trees, clean up the rivers, and use only natural sources for our needs. The Smurfs nodded in agreement and hurried off to put Papa Smurf's plan into action. Over the weekend, Hefty Smurf hauled shovels and seeds, teaching Smurfette and Brainy the best spots to plant new saplings. Meanwhile, Greedy Smurf found creative ways to reduce waste, turning leftovers into compost for gardens. Even Lazy Smurf joined the effort, lying around in the fields and naturally encouraging the grass to grow. By the end of the week, the village looked greener than ever. New shrubs blossomed everywhere, and bird songs filled the air. It wasn't just the land that had transformed. The Smurfs themselves realized they felt happier and healthier. The clean air didn't only bring joy to the Smurfs, it confused poor Gargamel too. He tried once more to find the village, trudging through the forest with his maps and muttering curses. But without the smoke from his factory to guide him, Gargamel wandered around in circles, lost and frustrated. With chuckles echoing throughout the village, the Smurfs decided to keep their new lifestyle. After all, seeing Gargamel hopelessly lost in the wilderness was the best prank of all. And so, happiness radiated through the lush greenery of Smurf Village, ensuring their beloved home flourished forever. Once upon a time, in the enchanted Smurf Village, the Smurfs decided it was time to make some big changes. Led by their wise and caring leader, Papa Smurf, they wanted to live a life that was kinder to the earth. After weeks of planning and excitement, the Smurfs announced their Go Green initiative. The whole village was buzzing with imaginative ideas, and Smurfette designed beautiful eco-friendly decorations to make the village look even more magical. On the day of the big celebration, the Smurfs gathered in the village square. The air was filled with the sound of laughter and the smell of delicious, organic Smurf berries. The Smurfs sang joyful songs about their love for nature and asked everyone to sing along. Papa Smurf took center stage and spoke with pride to his Smurfy friends. Dear Smurfs, he said, we've decided to change not just how we travel, but how we live to care for the world around us. We may be small, but we can make a big difference for the planet. The Smurfs played fun games that taught them about recycling, composting, and conserving energy. Brainy Smurf set up a science station where Smurfs could learn about how plants grow and the importance of clean air and water. Each Smurf received an eco-friendly gift, cleverly crafted from recycled materials by Handy Smurf, who proudly never threw anything away. The Smurfs cherished their new treasures. As the sun set, they all gathered under the starlit sky and promised to keep spreading their green ideas beyond Smurf Village. They dreamed of sharing their love for the planet with nearby towns and forests. And from that day on, the Smurfs became champions of the Earth, showing everyone that no matter how small you are, you can make a big difference. Their green initiative was not just a one-day event, but a new way of life. They proved that together, we can all help heal the world, one Smurf at a time. So remember, little ones, every small action counts. Just like the Smurfs, you too can be amazing heroes for the environment.